Welcome back to the Chill Zone podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and of course, I'm here with my co-host, Roger.
Hey.
And we got a great special guest this week, JD.
How you doing? I'm JD. Right now, this is a gaming podcast, so I talk about what kind of games I'm playing and what kind of games I'm into. So I'm JD. I have an esports team. So right now, I'm focusing on a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Overwatch, anything esports related, Valorant, anything PC related I've been into. So that's just a little bit about me and what I'm doing in the gaming world right now.
Cool. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. What do you do outside of like gaming and stuff?
I'm a graphic designer. I'm a videographer. I do a little bit of everything. I do a lot of that heavy. I love basketball. I love sports. I'm a sports bettor. I'm doing a lot of sports betting this holiday. Basketball season's up. I'm doing a lot of sports betting. Outside of that, I'm a father, a husband. Typical dad stuff.
Makes sense.
Nothing wrong with that. I try to get into sports betting, all thanks to you, because I've been seeing all your posts, but it's illegal down here in South Carolina, so I got to go through like all the other, like I'd have to download like a VPN or have someone else do it or something. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it.
That's too much work, yeah.
But Roger, how you been, man?
Pretty good. We this week was a pretty big week for me and my guild on WoW. We just got through 4 of the bosses in Castle Nathria. We're about to tackle the second wing, so I'm feeling pretty happy about next week. Feeling we're going to be able to hopefully get to the final boss here, the first raid. With my group of players that I'm with.
Yeah, it's crazy. You guys are up to 4, and there's what, 10, right?
10 bosses. Most normal guilds that have been around to raid previous expansions, they're already done with normal. They're working on heroic. But for us, we've pulled together a group that's only just started playing together a month ago. And we've now just been able to sort of figure out the bosses. Once we get the mechanics down, everyone who's there is competent enough to know what they're doing. We've kind of got people where we're geared enough to keep going. So it's been tough, but it's actually not been that bad. We almost killed a boss on our first attempt, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's much better as opposed to our conversation we had about 2 weeks ago when you guys first started it and got
the one boss fight was completely overtuned, so it was almost unplayable for some ragtag groups and people with less than 40 or 25 players.
Yeah, that's crazy. But myself, I've been chilling. Actually, I haven't been playing the game that much, but I've been trying to still complete Assassin's Creed, a little bit of Cyberpunk, trying to get into Call of Duty a little bit more. But I definitely need to dive into Watch Dogs Legion because we do have our review coming up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just other than that, just been chilling, enjoying the holidays with the family and whatnot. Can't complain here. But let's get into our gaming topics this week. So we'll start here with the first up is our gaming news. We could definitely stay on the topic of Cyberpunk because CD Projekt Red is going into this fighting the civil case. JD, what's your thoughts on this?
I think I don't know. I'm always iffy like when people sue these big companies, especially gaming companies. And isn't it they're suing because of false advertisement? Is that what it was? Okay, so false advertisement. Yeah. False representation. Yeah. Right. So like I understand that misrepresentation. So I understand that if you are on not 360, excuse me, Xbox One or PS4, because it really doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But I just don't see what you as the consumer get out of that. Like, what are you suing them for exactly? Just go get your refund. They're giving refunds. Just go about your day. I think CD wins. At the end of the day, it wasn't really misinformation.
Why even go after these companies? To be honest, like, yes, right. I get that they've overhyped this game. They said, hey, back in July, they were like, the game's ready. The game is ready. We're just tuning it, and I'm like, okay, all right. I'm happy with that. But, if we actually go after CD Projekt Red and they get sued and then their stockholders go, if this happens, you can have a really big schism in the company. If you get that kind of schism, we're going to lose one of our greatest game developers we have right now. Like, to be honest, it was a very lofty goal. This game is very big. It's not just like spread out big. It is up and down. You've got X, Y, and Z. Not just Y and Z going back and forth.
One of the biggest problems is that this game it's a next gen game that was announced and built for current gen, but they over 7 years they transitioned it to make it a next gen game, and they were like, whoops, we made this game too big. It's too it's too many resources, so that's why on the older consoles it is struggling big time.
And I think the big thing is they plan to release it before the next gen, like the ones that just came out, and with them designing the game not for them, and then finding out, oh, they're coming out soon, you know, within 6 months to a year, whenever they were originally still developing. That's kind of a scramble with a game that's been in development this long to just say in the last year of development or less, we have a new generation, the 30 series card. We've got, you know, these new consoles coming out. It's got to go on those. You got to make it so it can play on those. And it's got to use all their features. It's got to be a groundbreaking game. So they
it is a groundbreaking game on next gen, but I feel
right. Next gen and PC is definitely groundbreaking. But I also think that the issue is it's not really an issue, but when you build up a game over years and years and years and years and years, that's sort of like, you know, the consumer feels something in their heart, like I'm so ready. So ready. And then when you drop something and it's not really complete for everybody, then that's where it became like an issue for certain people. Like it's not ready for me. It's not ready for the older Xboxes. And I was looking forward to playing this game years ago because this is when I seen it. You know, 5 years ago, it's been talked about. So like, I think that type of hype and that type of consumer feeling, you got to be damn near perfect in order for you to avoid these type of issues.
Yeah, and honestly, you're not going to please everyone. Yeah, I agree. I agree that there was a big debacle with the old gen, and at this point, they're the ones losing out already. They've lost out on a huge market. These people who have the PS4 and the old Xbox. So I think
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here I'm gonna defend CD Projekt Red in this aspect too. Is you got to think like there was a mid generation cycle upgrade, and you act like they're super expensive. Like you can get the Xbox One S for $200.
Yeah,
it was like $250 when it first came out, but you can get the all digital for $200. Like, it's not that expensive. If you really want to play that game that bad and it's driving you crazy and you don't want to get next gen, just upgrade to a cheaper. And then, who knows? It's probably like $100 now because next gen's out. So there are other avenues. Like you could upgrade. You can progress. Like that console that you're playing the game on did come out 8 years ago. what did you expect? The game was a big VCR.
Yeah, and like to be honest, the scales are weighed. Do we make a game that everyone can play, or do we make a game that could become a masterpiece?
That's true. Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to try and support these older ones, these older consoles, because like I think the big thing for this game is not its graphics. It's not graphically intensive. The issue is it's logically intensive. Your processor is literally a campfire in your PC right now. It is burning a hole through my case right now. I'm throttled playing the game, and I'm still getting frame issues, and it's because it has to render each one of those logical paths for like a person or something. You know, there's so much going on in the game that it definitely in a few years, when a lot more people are caught up and their consoles are ready, and or their computers, I think there's a lot to be had. We're going to see a lot come from this game. I think it was they wanted to release it, but the problem is they have so much that they want to do. There's so much that it could do. It's just such a great base of a game, but I think they wanted to get it out because us as consumers, we were already chomping at the bit. And if they delayed it again, people were going to go postal on CD Projekt Red. And
they delayed it 3 times, and the last one it went gold, and then next it got delayed again. Like when it went gold, you're like, oh, the game is ready. It's being printed onto discs. No, it's not ready.
Yeah,
but I mean, CD Projekt Red, I think, is a game that's ahead of its time, because this has given us a taste of what next gen really is. We're not going to have like a true next gen game probably for a solid 2 to 3 more years when they finally do big games where they're not on old gen consoles anymore. Like, granted, there will be a couple in the next year or two. Like there was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Ratchet and Clank, yep.
That's the PS5 exclusive. No, it's not on the PS4. Xbox has theirs coming out in January, actually, medium. that's going to be next gen game too. But we're going to see the leap because these consoles are super powerful, along with the new graphics card, super powerful. Like, and CD Projekt Red was building a game, I think, more towards that, and then
they didn't know so many technologies became available while they were making this game, and because I can only imagine how many times they had to take something they had and scrap it because there's a better way to do it now. There's a better way to do it. I can only think about the things that happened the past 8 years. In the past 8 years, we've had Windows 10 come out, Windows 8, 8.1 were out. You know, I've seen things like the original Xbox, you know, the Xbox 360 was still out. The Xbox One just came out during those past 8 years. There's a lot that happened. And for them to develop that long, it becomes such a lofty project, and to try and keep up with what's coming out so that the game is always relevant and never behind on the cutting edge.
Right. And another thing is we also got to put it in perspective. The game Cyberpunk was announced 7 years ago. Yeah. But the game didn't go into development until about 5 years ago. So there was a 2 year gap between the announcement and the actual development process. So
well, and you know, that's storyboarding.
The game was only developed for 5 years and not the 7 or 8 years, as where some people think it is. Just because it was announced, I mean, it wasn't even in development yet. They had a type of, ooh, he's Cyberpunk. And it's exciting because it's based on RPG.
And the thing with the Cyberpunk game, it's, you know, the only issues that we see with this game really are its playability, not the actual story, the content, the things that make the core of a game itself, the actual meat of the game is really good. You know, it's really well written, I think, at many times. I think, you know, there's so much to do, and it's not, the more I get into it, the less Ubisoft cut and paste some of these quests become. So I think there's a lot to be said about the core of the game itself. Just the mechanics and the rendering of the game is the issue. And honestly, that's going to get fixed over time. So you can polish a turd, but you know, if you have a diamond encrusted in stone, you can at least polish that diamond until it's pristine. But if you got a turd, it's always a turd.
Right.
You know.
But so we can all agree that CD Projekt Red will probably win the Civil.
Well, I can't say whether or not they're going to win or lose. I think they're probably not going to come out on top after this is all said and done.
You don't think so?
Because I know shareholders are after them. Consumers are after them. They are not on. They're holding the shitty end of the stick right now.
Yeah. Well, one positive thing that's supposed to be coming out is the first free DLC. Yeah, and they announced a generic time frame of early 2021. That could be January to March, roughly. I would say.
And nonetheless, what comes in that DLC? You know, if it's actually good content and not just like we added 3 new vehicles you can buy. You know, what is actually going to be in that content of that DLC? Is the DLC actually going to add a lot, or is it just going to be a Sims patch? You know, well, look at Sims.
Their structure, I mean, it may have changed now, but they did announce that they're having free DLC and paid DLC. So once they announce how that structure is going to work and what's coming with each type of content, then we'll be able to gauge.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you know, thinking about it, the paid DLC is probably going to be similar to their Witcher DLC. It's going to be, you know, these big story, you know, side stories that, you know, you jump into them and you go in a complete different direction.
No, yeah, for sure. But I think we should move on to our next gaming news here. Another game that kind of started off as nothing, or I can't say nothing, but sluggish, and then worked its way up was Among Us.
Well, it started off as nothing. You are correct.
It was nothing. Yeah, nothing.
We didn't even know the game existed. It came out in 2018, and it's 2020, and now goes boom because of streamers and COVID.
Yep.
I really but put the emphasis that COVID is what helped trigger this game. It allowed people to be able to connect and play a game. And I've noticed a lot of non-gamers download this game to play it.
I don't think it's just COVID. I think it's influencers. We can say that it is. If somebody tells you ripped jeans are in, people are going to start wearing ripped jeans because an influencer told me. Somebody said, "Oh, this Among Us is the shit. It's great." honestly, Among Us, some of the people I watch on YouTube sometimes, they're like, Among Us is literally just a giant time sink for streamers who can't come up with original content right now. There you go. Just play some Among Us. That's all it is. And I'll be honest with you. Among Us is the next big Minecraft right now. It is just influencers. People out there have made it something, and now it's going to get a cult following for a while.
Well, yeah, and I truly agree with the whole Minecraft thing. I think it'll become more of a platform now because they can add other game modes or whatever the case may be. I mean, just look at Roblox. Roblox came out of nowhere, and that became a platform too.
And that existed for years and years before it.
Very much.
I just the fact that I run on Reddit and I'm like, Roblox memes, what the fuck? Who plays that? I hear nothing of it. But then again, look, a lot of these games nowadays are being kept alive by Gen Z. Gen Z is now coming into their own as not just little kids anymore. No. They're in their teens. They're starting to hit their teenage years or later. It's so
and to build off of that is the fact that when we were growing up, we didn't really watch YouTubers play games or watch stream or any live streaming gaming. Where these kids are growing up,
it wasn't even like a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't even a thing.
So it wasn't a thing. Yeah.
At 4 years old, they're on YouTube and they're watching someone play Minecraft or opening.
Mom, I want Minecraft now.
It's crazy. People just start watching stuff from 5 years old. And they're like, oh, I want to play that game, or I want to start streaming and be like that. And then I can only imagine the generational effect that's going to have on the next one after that as well.
And I mean, Among Us was smart because like the characters are kind of kiddish. They're like little alien things. They're not really much to it. Kids adapt to that type of stuff. Like I know I work for my school district, and there's kids who want to watch Among Us in the classroom. Like, can I watch that? And I'm like, well, we can't really watch that because it's deaf and stuff. But it's crazy to see how I work in elementary school. It's crazy to see, like you guys said, third graders, fourth graders, second graders that know Among Us and know video games that well because of their favorite influencers on YouTube. Yep. So much time being spent on YouTube that these games just kind of blow up. You can release a game that was 5 years old, and the next thing you know, boom, it just revived itself because people found it.
That's the same thing with kind of like what is the game now? I can't even remember the game's name. The one I hate so much because it's cluttered with kids. Battle Royale, Fortnite.
Fortnite, yes.
Literally, its success. If anyone tries to tell me otherwise, I can't believe you. But its success is literally built on the foundation of children. Children is its foundation. Without the winner for it was still in school. He was
like 16, 15.
Yeah, still in high school.
And the recent whatever from the World Cup was from PA, which is pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. So I mean, like my son was super into Fortnite. I mean, now he's 9 and he's starting to get into Call of Duty. So like, it's kind of weird to see what type of kids are into it. Because like my kid was like, I mean, $25 for skins. I want that, Dad. Dad, I need this. I'm like, yo, you got to slow down. Like this is crazy. And like,
not only are they playing it and they're enjoying it, they're like, oh, it looks cool. The influencers are not helping dad apparently.
No, exactly.
No, not at all.
Look at this new skin they just released. You all need it.
I want John Wick, and like my son's like, I want John Wick. I'm like, you don't even know who that is. You never even seen the movie.
I wouldn't let you see that movie, of course.
No,
right. Who's John Wick? Why would you know?
But Fortnite's another one of those games too, because Fortnite, when it first came out, before even season 1, nobody knew who the hell what was Fortnite.
Yeah,
and it was like a mockery almost of like PUBG, because PUBG is like the OG, battle royale that blew up, and then Fortnite came out of nowhere and just took over the world.
Took over.
Yeah, but going back to Among Us though, man, Among Us just recently got new ratings and stuff, and I realized like IGN has given it like a 9 out of 10. Like these companies have gone back and actually rated these games. I don't know what they originally rated them, but now they're all getting these high ratings, and I think the game's going to keep growing too with the new map.
I think the reason why Among Us got new ratings from these companies is they were embarrassed. Oh shit, we have bad ratings for this game. We got to change that real quick because it's the newest hot shit. It actually got released in 2020, where we're gonna forget that 2018 and 2019 happened, and that's fine. Like, and look at that. You had a terrible game to start out. Like, the premise is good, the content, like it had some potential, but it just didn't get there. And it did now. So
so going off of what Fortnite though, Fortnite again is going to copy another game, and they're making a Among Us copy.
I see.
It's like a game mode you can play inside Fortnite where it's like spies versus something or whatever.
Yeah, imposters.
It's Among Us. Like there's no way of
and let me be honest with you as well. This is not a new concept. Among Us stole this from other games like Werewolf or Resistance. There are other games just like this.
What was that tabletop game we played? Was it Resistance?
Resistance, yeah. You know, where you have to find out who's the terrorist and everyone else is who's a resistance member and who's the good guys, you know?
Isn't this more or less Clue?
Basically,
to the same aspect. Yeah, and even in Clue, you don't know if you're the bad guy.
Right.
Well, at least in Among Us, you do. You go around chopping people in half.
Get heads off, yeah.
And it's definitely an interesting game, and I'll give it to them. They did it in a really well played fashion. But going back to Cyberpunk for just a second, the same concept's still there. The core functionality is there, and I think Among Us is an example of what you can become if you just keep polishing something.
Yep.
They did not have a turd; they just had an unpolished gem, and now that they've done it, it just took a little bit of influencers to get the name out there, and so many people are hooked on it. Because these people wouldn't play it if it wasn't a good game.
No, yeah.
I'll be honest. I've played Among Us quite a few hours. I enjoyed the game.
I played it with my esports team. For me, I don't know. I'm a competitive guy. Like I play a lot of multiplayer and competitive, so I guess it can get competitive depending on how you play it. But for me, it's more like a party time game. Like when I'm bored, I'm like, let's go hop on this and let's do this. Like kind of hang out.
Yeah, it's not about skill. The game isn't about skill. It is about emotions. And if somebody just says white is the bad guy,
you can talk.
It's the bad guy.
Yeah,
it's how good you can talk. Because if you're the bad guy and you're trying to convince everyone else that you're not the bad guy, and you're convincing this person's the bad guy, it really comes down to like how good your charisma is, honestly.
Yeah, and even then, sometimes you just can't convince people because people on the internet are fucking trolls.
Right.
No doubt. But I think it's pretty cool because Among Us is primarily a mobile game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have added it to PC. I know it's on the Xbox Game Pass specifically for PC right now. And it's coming to Xbox 2021 as well. So it's going to broaden the thing. And because one of the features with Among Us playing it mobile is being able to try and communicate, like talking like a party. You can't do that. You have to use the in-game text thing. And it doesn't really always work. Where on systems or in consoles, PC and stuff, you'll be able to use like Discord a lot better, or have a built-in party system like Xbox.
Well, the problem there is a lot of people are actually super angry. If you use Discord and you're playing a game and you're in Discord, like I've had it where I was playing one in a lobby and somebody goes, "Oh, it was so and so because my brother who's in Discord with me told me that's who killed him." It's like, well, you're gone, and your brother.
That is so cheap. That's so cheap.
Yeah, so
just play the game.
Yeah,
I like because doesn't it have a proximity chat? I've actually never played Among Us. I booted it up like once.
I played it once. That's what I'm saying. I played it once. I haven't really played it much, but I think proximity chat is in there. But it's like the same room type of idea. Like you gotta be in the same rooms. But that's so cheap. If you take Among Us that serious that you gotta go into Discord and talk about it, man, just play the game. Just have fun.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right. No doubt. But no, yeah, Among Us, man, is a great game and it's great for the gaming community. And it's going to get better when more people have access to it because it's coming to more platforms. And then with the new map coming out, and who knows, like they can probably come out with new game modes. They can probably come out with skins and stuff like that. It could really take off and drive microtransactions, unfortunately. But but think about it. Among Us was created by what, 4 people, a super small team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. So I mean,
no, it's not at all.
For them to put in this much work to turn a game around, hats off to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that's enough gaming news. We can get into our next topic here: multiplayer games and their impact. Man, Call of Duty's been around for a very long time. I think a little over a decade now. How does it still succeed? I'll go to you, JD. What do you
think? For me, Call of Duty, I love it so much because I grew up playing it. How does it succeed is a good question. I'm not a big fan of the new Cold War, honestly. I hate this new Cold War. I talk about it. I really hate it. But I'm gonna speak on Modern Warfare, the newest one. I think what they did well was they slowed down the game pace. They made it more about gunplay. They kind of got back to like their core ideas. So back in the day, I felt like it was so simplistic that kill streaks really didn't matter. It was more about your gun game and your positioning and things like that. I feel like Call of Duty started to go towards run and gun, and that got like the younger generation into it. It was so fast paced, so fun, so quick, so this that people who were younger got into it. So I think, how do they succeed? They're doing microtransactions now. They're doing battle passes. I think that attracts younger people. People like to get free stuff, quote unquote, even though you got to pay $10 for the battle pass. But you pay, these younger people pay for the battle pass and things like that. I think that helps them succeed. And I also think that the trailers really help them succeed. Less about the gameplay and more about how they show the gameplay. They're adding some new hip hop music. They got Eminem. They got these different, quote unquote influencers or bigger people that help promote them and drive them, that the game will never die. As far as gameplay, of course, everybody has their own preferences and things like that. But the question was, how does it still succeed? I think the trailers and how they get these influencers and the Call of Duty World League, how they make that look, that'll help keep this game alive and keep it thriving.
No, yeah, 100% sure. And it's crazy to think like Call of Duty had to make that transition too, because it was going through its own potential lawsuits,
downfall,
the loot boxes and stuff, because that was just big in gaming, where it was, is it illegal? Is it not illegal? Like, or like, how's that? Like, it was touching a lot of gray areas, but then they transitioned to the battle pass, and all you do is pay $10, and now all you gotta do is play the game. It's not not random. You're not gambling. Like, what you're going to get. And I think that was it was a very smart decision. It got them out of that trouble. There's no more loot boxes and stuff. And I mean, they got the store now where you can just buy stuff straight up. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna buy this box. I hope I get this outfit.
Something, yeah. And that's also another thing. They added skins, they added gestures, they added sprays. Like, those little things do go into a game, and it does make it a little bit more successful, especially nowadays. And I kind of call it the Fortnite snowball effect. Mm-hmm. So Fortnite added skins, Fortnite added these dances, and now some of these other games want to do it because they see the attraction for other kids. Every game. So Call of Duty is going to keep adapting, and that's what makes them successful. And the Battle Royale is really good. I love Warzone. I think it's probably, for me, the top Battle Royale out. I think if they keep expanding that, you'll have the Battle Royale and you'll have the regular Call of Duty titles. They're moving in a good direction, although Cold War is terrible. But as far as Modern Warfare goes and Activision, I think that they're doing a great job.
Right. No doubt. I've always been a huge Infinity Ward fan with the Modern Warfare series. Black Ops to me hasn't been good since the original Black Ops. Black Ops 2 was to me awful, and then Black Ops 3 when they went to the jumping around stuff. I didn't like any of the Call of Duties when you had the jetpack and you were just jumping all over the place. Like, that just really.
They were okay. It wasn't like, but it wasn't great.
I think Call of Duty, man, it's that yearly sports game. Like 2K and Madden, like, they're always going to be there. They're always super competitive. And if, like you said, all the influencers and these famous people are showcasing the game and playing the game and like hyping it up, it's never going to fail.
You can legit copy and paste and it'll still be a big deal. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, 2K is copy and paste every single year. It doesn't matter. To the consumer, I'm like, I want that game. I need it. It's the new. It doesn't matter. Same thing with Call of Duty. You can copy and paste it. It's kind of the same idea each game. But as a consumer, you're like, I've been playing Call of Duty since 12. I need this now. And you just kind of hop into it. It's just what happens. We're kind of crazy.
I think the big thing for Call of Duty's success starts with the original Modern Warfare.
I agree.
I think that was back, 2008 something?
I think it's
a long time ago.
I think it was back when we were still in middle school or sometime in that vicinity. So,
2007.
I think, so there you go. 2006, 2008 was right. So for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think it was a ground-defining game. It was the first thing to really challenge Halo in the market of first-person shooters. It was a newer market, that was really starting to take off on consoles as opposed to, things like back in the day you had Turok and stuff like this on the computer. But on the consoles, you didn't have as many competitive games where you could go out and fight each other. And Halo was the only one really doing that, Halo 2 at the time. And I think with the big invention of Modern Warfare, we had millions of players playing at any given time. The game was filled with players. And I think that was the big driving success. And ever since then, you had fanboys. Fanboys is the key here. It doesn't matter anything else they do. You have fanboys. And if you tell them, hey, there's a new Call of Duty game, they're all going to go to it because they don't want to be the one not playing it while all their friends
There you go. There you go.
That is the key to their success. It doesn't matter what they do. Everyone will follow it. And now that they have, 2 or 3 different titles, like lineages, you've got 3 different series. If you don't like one of the other 2 probably will pique your interest in some way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that is their success.
A single game format and have over in China where they have it's Call of Duty Online, and they added maps and guns from every universe, every game, and created one. Or Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile is great. I think that's what they need to do. For at least the multiplayer part, and just release if you want to release a new campaign, release a new expansion.
It's not a bad idea.
And that's kind of how Halo is right now. Sadly, Halo doesn't have the following anymore that, say, Call of Duty does. And that's just because Halo kind of fell by the wayside trying to innovate themselves and taking too long to do it. Whereas Call of Duty is always fresh. So they're always making changes, whether they're good or bad, and people are going to follow them, good or bad.
Yep.
Did you still buy the new Black Ops game? Did both of you still buy it?
I did. I did.
Oh my God, it's terrible, and you still bought it.
I wanted a refund, though.
Everyone I talked to is like, "Wow, this is a horrible game. Did you buy it?" Yeah. Why did you do that? And because they like Call of Duty. Call of Duty.
I got to be honest. My reason for buying it, I played the beta, and when you get that little taste, I only had it. You had it for like a day or two. I'm like, "Oh, this game isn't that bad." And then I get it, and I'm playing a couple hours, and I'm like, "Wait, you're telling me you're shooting me from a shotgun from like 80 miles away? Wait, you're shooting from the hit." It started to dwell on me like, okay, this is a terrible game. I can't do it. Yeah, I just can't do it.
And that's the thing. It doesn't matter what you think or what you care.
Mm-hmm.
You're a fanboy. You're a Call of Duty fanboy.
That's a fact.
And you will buy it. Like for me, for example, I'm not a Call of Duty fanboy, and I look at it from the outside. I'm like, yeah, I don't see any appeal to it. Like it isn't my genre. But for many, it is. When they're a console gamer, like if you have a console, odds are you probably have Call of Duty because it's that shooter game. It is the flagship shooter game at this point. There is none other I will put against a Call of Duty game. If you talk about a first-person shooter, if you don't talk about Call of Duty's influence on the market, you're not really talking about first-person shooters then.
That's right.
There are many first-person shooters, but it has its place. It is the ground to find.
Been able to rival it is Battlefield, but even then they struggled even.
Well, that's the thing. For Battlefield, their game is much different too.
Yeah.
So you've got different formats, and we talked about this on previous episodes of the Chill Zone, where you've got many different formats for first-person shooters. You've got the One Life format. You've got the skirmish. You've got the giant arenas like the PUBGs. You've got all these different genres. You've got war simulators. You've got Battlefield is large-scale multiplayer map. So
at least Battlefield, though, has tried to appeal to that Call of Duty fanboy because they made the 6v6 maps and they try to make it fast-paced.
And that's the thing. And it doesn't work because their guns aren't made to do that.
Nope.
Their core concept of the game isn't made to do that. So I think the big issue we're looking at here is Call of Duty is going to succeed because it has a fan base. And to breach that fan base, you have to have something ground defining. Something that is the same game that will pull people away. Because remember, people don't play first-person shooters to play by themselves usually.
Right.
Nobody buys Call of Duty to play alone. If you play Call of Duty just to play the campaign, you are very, very unique. You are such a unique person that I don't think you exist.
No.
You are not an you are an ethereal person. That is the reason why you buy Call of Duty. You buy it to play against other people, whether it's alone or with friends. And Call of Duty is that game. If you're looking to get into something, you get into that. Now, if you're looking to get competitive and actually get to esports, there are other games for that, games that are more structured to be competitive. But if you're looking to just jump into a mosh pit and start shooting other players, Call of Duty is the only game that I would say to do that, because you don't get one life. Most times, nobody plays Search and Destroy, if that's even still a game mode.
It is. Yeah.
Nobody plays Search and Destroy with one life. Yeah. everyone goes in to play deathmatch or like capture zone control games. You know, they play these games where shit, I just died. Let's go again. Shit, I died. Let's go again.
Yeah.
And you know, you have these people who are like 007 players, 0 kills, 0 assists, 7 deaths, but they keep doing it and they keep doing it. You know, it's one of those games where like when I play shooters, I play other shooters, and you only get one life normally. And then the next round starts.
Yep.
With Call of Duty, there is only one round, and you get as many lives as you get until the round ends.
Oh yeah, which I'm a segue off of that is other new genre relating to shooting games is that hero shooter or that class shooter like Overwatch. We're going to go into Overwatch now. Overwatch is such a huge esports game right now, and it did something different with the whole first person genre. But it, like you said, you have lives, and now there's more strategy to it. JD, you play Overwatch a lot, and you have an esports team, right?
Yes.
I
have an esports team strictly for Overwatch. So I have my esports organization. Our organization branched off and created our first esports team, and it's for Overwatch. The influence of Overwatch and esports has been like ridiculous. Like you said, kind of hero based, class based. So like each hero does something different. So there is more to it than just Call of Duty, where you just go pick up and run and just shoot, and that's it. Each hero has a counter hero, and then you got to find a way to balance their heroes compared to ours. So it's kind of like a chess match happening live. So I might start off with a specific hero, but they might balance it out and go with the person that goes against me. Well, then I have to go against them. So it's like a back and forth type of thing. So it's a lot more teamwork involved. Yeah. So I've been trying to focus more onto those type of games. I actually just got back into Call of Duty recently. I haven't really played it that much because of those reasons of just running and gunning and less teamwork. I'm more into, creating teamwork. So, a typical day in Overwatch for me and my esports team, like we practice. I like to practice every single night, 3 to 4 hours, because you got to master the game. You got to be able to control the point correctly, control the map correctly, figure out who we like to use and who we like to counterbalance and things like that. And I'm looking forward to Overwatch 2, because Overwatch 1 has been out for a couple of years, I think like 4 or 5 around that. And kind of like what we said earlier, they polished a gem. And when it first came out, it wasn't this big thing. They polished it to make it that. And Overwatch 2 is coming out in 2021, and that's also a topic coming up. I can't wait for that game to come out. So yeah, I think what happened?
Overwatch 1, 2016 release date. It's been out for 4 years already.
4 years. I said like 4 or 5 years. So it became an esports phenomenon. And I feel like that's one of the original games to like really make esports huge, because like fans, and it's on ESPN, and it's like a huge thing. And it's a great game.
I think the big success for that is also who made the game.
Yes,
if we take a moment to look at who made it,
Blizzard.
They have. And not only that, it's Blizzard Activision.
Yeah, Activision, yep.
So you've got this big power player with money looking at a market that just really created, because Riot, for example, they also are a big company, and they're one of the ones that really also breached the esports market with League of Legends now Valorant. So I think Overwatch was a ground defining game. And I think a big part of Overwatch is it had so much to offer, because exactly what you say. Each person has a unique aspect on the team, because if you just go in with everyone being a duelist type character or somebody who's there to kill, the game isn't going to work, because guess what? No matter how many people you have shooting at a Reinhardt, his shield is still there. He's huge. If he has a healer behind him, he's even bigger.
He doesn't die.
Yeah. So with the advent of, everyone, like Call of Duty, for me, there was always a meta. Everyone was running a certain type of kit. There were certain perks that you would only run. So like there was so much that wasn't being played. Whereas like in a game like Overwatch, your kit is your kit. You have a right click, you have a left click. Your gun may not be a gun. It may just be a hammer. In a firefight, you just got a hammer. And you have a ranged attack on cooldown, I think it adds a lot to bridge the gap between RPG and first-person shooter, and then combine it into a tactical competitive game.
Yep.
I think it did a lot for the genre, and it showed us that if you just have a kit and you don't you don't get to choose other than the character, people are still going to do it. They did it in League. They did it, League is the big one that kind of defined, I am my hero. Whatever my hero has is pretty much me. Yeah, you can augment your hero in League and get it to do different things, but in Overwatch, your hero is you. That is it. Yep. That's all they have. And the fact that you can kind of change it mid-match is also pretty useful as well. It allows the game to change on the fly because maps change as you go through. I think the game itself is really well done in the fact that each step of the leg race has something different about it. It's not always the same fight.
Nope.
So I think there's a lot to be said about what it offers to the genre of first-person shooters.
I agree.
Definitely. I have never played Overwatch, and it's crazy to think that how many games I play and how many games I own. I've never dabbled into one of the game or groundbreaking games. One of the games that I did play that's I guess close to it would be Rainbow Six Siege.
Love it.
One of those generational games too.
Yep.
And the game it's been out for I don't know 6 years at least.
Yeah,
it's been out since the early generation of the Xbox One and the PS4, and it's carried over to next gen. They keep adding monthly updates, new characters, and it's also another game where you have to master a character, or how each character plays on a different map better than others.
And they have counters in that game.
Thought it's insane. But Overwatch, it looks good. I think I'll probably get into it eventually. Especially like you said, Overwatch 2 comes out this year. Maybe that'll be the time I jump in and definitely dabble in it. But
yeah, and especially with it being on computer, it was a market that you couldn't bridge with the general people.
Yep.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. One sec, I have to step away real quick.
Okay.
But I tried Valorant on my PC, and surprisingly, it works without my graphics card.
Oh, I mean, Valorant is not heavy on computers at all. So, I mean, it does work. I was playing Valorant straight for 5 months in my esports team. And we kind of fell out of love with it. It just kind of got it got real sweaty. People just figured out how to land the perfect headshots, and headshots matter in that game. So if you didn't have pinpoint accuracy,
right,
you were kind of dwindled out. But I love that you touched on Rainbow Six. That's one of my favorite games ever. I think Rainbow Six, I think it's better than Call of Duty for me. Because again, I like the tacticalness of it. There's characters. Each one has a different ability, and you have to balance out the map. I love games that are kind of chess-like. Every single move you make matters. It's not just I'm going to run in there and go crazy. I got to go for the headshot. I got to use this. I got to use that. I got to use this equipment against that equipment. It makes sense. You got to think about it as the game's going on. So I love Rainbow Six too. I think that's another huge game and a big esports game that changed shooters for the good.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think it's pretty cool how Rainbow Six, Ubisoft in general, was including other characters from their Tom Clancy universe. So they brought in Sam Fisher into Rainbow Six, and it's crazy because Sam Fisher has his own game with Splinter Cell since 360
forever. Yeah, regular Xbox. Splinter Cell 1 came out for Xbox. I can't say Xbox One, regular Xbox, but the first Xbox. Yeah.
Let me see when the last Splinter Cell game was.
It was. I think it was 360, and it was
2013.
Yes,
it was Blacklist. So I guess that was
Blacklist. That's what it was.
It was in that
early
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to think about that. A game with that much popularity and such an iconic pop culture character hasn't had its own game in that long.
Yes.
I really hope we get one of those games soon.
I think that a lot of times we'll savor the moment and drop it for out of nowhere. So I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and Kingdom Hearts only comes out once every 5-6 years, and they'll drop little games here and there on the DS and on mobile, and it really doesn't matter. It does matter in a weird way, it still adds to the story, but it's not that big of a deal. But whenever I hear something Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, yes, 5 years later. So I think same thing with Splinter Cell. I think it is a big game. People will always remember it, and it'll be in the back of your brain. And maybe this year coming up next year, they might just announce something to surprise us, and we get excited and they drop it on us. Sometimes taking a long break helps. It just builds up anticipation, and when you drop it again, it's it's kind of renewed, and just everything is different about it for the next gen. I think it'll help, and I think they got to do multiplayer because they didn't have multiplayer before. Some type of co-op, some type of multiplayer, because that's what people are into nowadays. It's like the big thing. So you got to figure out how to make it competitive and also co-op with the story. It's a lot of work.
Right. I'm sure that they can come up with like, I mean, they can probably go with the Among Us route. Like, I'm pretty sure they can incorporate like spies and like those.
I like that.
Rogue characters, or they can go. What game was it? It's a new one that just came out. Outlaws, like Hoods and something like that. I forget what it's called, but it's like more of like an assassination game. Like you're trying to get like to your other team and assassinate them and stuff. So like that'll be interesting to see if they can go that route, I guess. But I think I like what you said. They mentioned like co-op, like maybe incorporate some kind of like 2-player co-op up to 4-player co-op missions or something like that. You gotta go infiltrate these buildings or steal this plane or whatever the case may be. Like
anything missions for us to do as as friends. And I know Blacklist did that, but at that moment it was kind of like a weird time. Again, at that moment when Blacklist came out, Xbox One started to come out, and like GTA was the big thing, and again, just multiplayer, playing with your friends in different ways. Yeah, right. So it was like one of the biggest games. So it's kind of like it kind of overshined that, and I guess the success of it came out, like I said, in a weird time. New Halos come out every next gen, so Halo is probably coming out around that time, and they tried to come out with that Tom Clancy game, and it just didn't succeed the way they thought it did. So maybe they're trying to take a break to find the perfect timing to do it, because it's just a weird time in gaming.
No, yeah, 100% sure about that. How's your esports team doing with Overwatch?
Everything's going good. We've been practicing because of the New Year and Christmas and holidays. We really haven't been practicing as much as I would like. So we've just been playing a lot of Call of Duty. But as long as most of us are on and we're just playing, right now I give it like a lot of leeway as the CEO and the head honcho. I give a lot of leeway towards people because I know holidays are rough for some people, especially with COVID. People who are mourning people and spending time with your family. I can never be upset with that. So right now it's kind of slow, but starting in January, our esports jersey should be coming in. I'm waiting on that shipment still. It's been crazy because of COVID and holidays. I haven't got my jerseys. But once that comes in, I think that'll like bring us back to life and like rejuvenate us. And we're really just getting ready for Overwatch 2. Because it's going to drop. I think it's supposed to come out 2021 unless they delay it. But I think it's slated for 2021. It wouldn't
surprise me if it gets delayed.
They wouldn't. But it's slated for 2021. So right now we're just practicing this because a lot of the characters are carrying over to Overwatch 2. Yeah. So we're just trying to practice with the characters that we know are going over. So when it does come out, we're ready and we can focus on that game heavy.
Most definitely. How many people you got on your team?
I would say for Overwatch, we have 6. All around, probably between 10. I have some people who do like little things, just help me promote and help. And it's still part of the team. Officially a part of the team in like Overwatch 6. I do try to find a couple backups just in case, things kind of go crazy and people can't get on. I like to find a couple subs. Yeah. So I'm trying to expand that to 6 or 7. But currently 6 people on Overwatch, and as a whole, like I said, probably like around 10. I have just different people doing a bunch of different things for me and helping out. So,
yeah, that's pretty cool. Have you guys participated in any competitions yet, or has it just been?
Nothing like super big. I like to take baby steps and work our way into there and make sure we know what we're doing. Overwatch, we've done a tournament. Valorant, we did a few tournaments. Those were really rough. Those were some pretty good players. We did Brawlhalla.
You already said if there's sweats. Like playing Valorant, man, it's insane.
It was absurd.
And the thing you got to remember about Valorant, you've got the CSGO community there too.
There it is.
That is the key.
And they're so used to that. They're used to the headshots. You
got to remember that the big the original esports are CSGO. Yep. CSGO is the original esport.
That is it.
Like next to Turok and things like that too.
Right, of course.
But don't get me wrong. But like, I mean, as it really being a sport, not just a competition.
Yep.
CSGO is one of those things that you always go back to. And CSGO right now is a weird community because the game is free. The game is also filled and riddled with bugs and hackers. So yes, it has all the makings of it is the competitive shooter. But at the same time, the community was kind of getting tired of it because it was the same game.
Same thing, yep.
And with Valorant being a bridge between something a little more loose like Overwatch and then going to something that's like CSGO format or your search and destroy of Call of Duty, that's I think where Valorant is, and it drew a lot of very competitive players. Like watching the competitive like I've been on this subreddit for Valorant for a while now because I play it every so often, and watching them talk as they understand and really figure out the game mechanics without looking at the code. They're like, okay, so we just found out recently that like Omen's his blind actually travels faster or slower depending on which way your character's moving.
Never knew that.
If your character's walking backwards, it will travel slower to its destination than if you're walking forward, supposedly. So like there are these things that the game plays certain ways, like people with ops, for example, in CSGO, you shoot and you quick swap your gun, you skip your reload animation. So now you know your gun's already ready to go again to shoot again. So
found a master in the game, huh?
Yeah, the game is so new that we're watching people master it as we go, and it's such an open game that you can just jump in and go. That everyone can play it right now. So I think it's definitely going to be a lot more competitive, whereas a game like Overwatch has been kind of sitting there for a while. I don't want to say it's dead, but I want to say the community is a lot smaller.
It is. It is a lot smaller.
So
and that's kind of why I went back to it, because I used to play it a lot on Xbox, and we just all got PC, so I went back to it. Because once I found out like Valorant, like we were playing it like 4 or 5 months. We were really good. We got up to like gold, almost platinum ranking. I'm like, okay, cool. And the next thing I know, like the next season, second season came out, and like it was just a whole different game. We went from like gold down to bronze, and I'm like, wait, what is going on? Like this is kind of scary. And like I just realized that people were starting to figure out the game faster than we were. Yeah. And I was like, well, we were really good on Overwatch on Xbox. We can hop on the PC, and there's still a big esports market. It's not as big as what you said, like I guess to the world, it's a little smaller. Yeah. But in the esports world, it's still huge. So like there's still a market for that we can kind of fill in there. So I still play Valorant a little bit, but it just got too sweaty for me. Like people were going absurd in there. It's crazy.
That's the big thing for me and my friends as well right now. It went from, wow, we were doing pretty good to, holy shit.
Yeah.
Bronze hell is a thing in this game too.
Yeah.
It's
bad.
All I know is when I checked out Valorant for that first time when I was running with you, Roger, I got absolutely destroyed. Yep. I'm definitely not into like.
Well, then again, your game was also giving you 3 frames to everyone's 10, so.
Right. It was pretty rough. So, I mean, I gotta get attuned to playing on a PC with a keyboard and mouse again. I've been playing a controller for.
And that's the other thing. Playing on a PC versus playing on a controller, that's a big thing. Like one of the recent Call of Duty tournaments that bridged the gap and had PC and console players play together, they made PC players play on a mouse or on a controller because there was such a skill gap between console and PC. And it's not that they're better, it's you have more control. Mm-hmm. So with being on PC versus a controller, you can do so much more. So it's definitely, if you move from a console to a PC, the competitive scene gets a lot scarier.
No, yeah, for sure. But I think we're going to move on to our third and last gaming topic here. The year is coming to a close tonight. Thank goodness 2020 is over. But
hey, let's hope it's good.
You're not ready for 2020 part 2?
No, yeah, that's funny. But what kind of games are you guys looking forward to in 2021? Let me start with you, Roger. What kind of games are you looking forward to and why?
Honestly, there are no announcements that really pique my interest for 2021. The year has nothing for me to offer. Like past years, I've looked forward to the new Kingdom Hearts game, or this year Cyberpunk, the new WoW expansion. We're going to be entering I think a gaming rut for a little bit. We're going to have a lot of these games that are big console games. It's going to be a lot of a console market right now because PC is kind of stabilized right now with its content.
No, yeah, for sure.
I think, with Valorant coming out last year, there are so many big hits. There's nothing announced to me that is really drawing me in. Like, if you play on the PlayStation, you've got a new God of War game coming. You've got
Ratchet and Clank.
You have all these other, like, that for me, like, if I had the new PlayStation, I would love to. I loved Ratchet and Clank. I played a ton of Ratchet and Clank games.
No doubt.
I love the series, but if you're not on console, there's not much for me right now on PC that really perks my interest. Brand new, that is.
No,
fair enough.
What about you, JD?
So I mean, he makes a lot of great points because I'm also PC only. I don't have any consoles anymore. I got rid of all my consoles. So I guess some of these games, I think most of these games on my list will be on PC, but I think all of them. But for me, the first one that I really liked was Hitman 3. I'm a big Hitman fan.
This month.
It does come out this month. You're right.
Or January.
Yeah, January. Right. It's this month. Let's just say that. I'm a big Hitman fan. I like the way that they're going with it. It's kind of RPG-ish now, but it's still filled with killings and different ways to kill people. I love that game. I think that's gonna be a big hit. Far Cry 6. I remember playing like the early Far Cries, and they weren't really that good. They're starting to ramp it up a little bit. I like the new villain. I like where they're going in that direction. Prince of Persia. I'm looking forward to that. I remember playing that game when I was young. I can't wait for the remake. Of course, Halo. I was a huge Halo player, and now it's coming to PC, and I'm excited because I used to play it on Xbox, and now that I'm a PC person, I have better accuracy and more control. I can't wait to play it on PC. And of course, the new COD. Again, I am a COD fanboy. Yeah, whatever it is. But I am a fanboy. I'm hoping that if it is Modern Warfare again, it's just as good as this last one. If it's like Cold War, I'm going to ask for a refund. So let's just hope that it's like Modern Warfare and not like Cold War, and then we're good. And that's about it. If Overwatch 2 does come out in 2021, I'll be ready for that. But I'm not sure if that's like set in stone. So those are like my top 5-6 games.
No, yeah, for sure. You covered on a couple of the ones that I'm looking forward to with Far Cry 6. I've actually never played any of the Far Cry games. I have a couple of them, just never even got into them. But 6 just looks really good. Just being with I like the villain that's going to be in it. I'm a huge fan of him in general. But there's another game I touched on earlier in the episode, which was Medium. That's going to be a pretty cool horror game. It has like
does look good.
It's like two games are being rendered at the same time, and they're like two different like time period or something like that, and it looks really, really cool, and I think it's going to use the new technology really well. Another one was Halo, of course, Halo Infinite. I'm glad it got delayed a whole year because that game just needs a lot of polishing and work.
Yeah, for sure.
Halo Infinite scares me because after the last Halo game,
except the multiplayer, it seems like the multiplayer had such a huge.
Well, the thing is, people play Halo because of the multiplayer, just like they play Call of Duty for the multiplayer. I play Halo because I like the story and the experience, but the story for me died after 4. Barely made it through 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple more games here. Another PlayStation 5 exclusive that's coming out is Horizon Forbidden West. The Horizon Zero Dawn was such an amazing game.
It was.
Check it out. I highly recommend that game. If I had to rate it live on stream, it definitely get like a 9 out of 10, if not pretty close to a 10 out of 10. I had zero flaws with that game.
Honestly, for me, I couldn't get through it.
Really?
I got partway through it, and then it just felt like there was a jump in difficulty unless you spent time grinding stuff on the side.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I had a nice balance where I was doing stuff on the side and doing the main stuff and just learning to play the game, and I was exploring. Like I just really dove and was immersed into the game itself. I felt like I was connected and like I had to learn.
It was a very beautiful story.
I really wanted to know what happened to the world, and you kind of know that by the end of the game.
Yep.
But a couple other games I think that are pretty cool that are coming out was Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and it's like an open world like role-playing game of Harry Potter, and you get to like basically live as a student. This takes place like 100 years or something like that after the events from the Harry Potter movies. So that would be pretty cool to finally dive into a game like that, because I remember playing those on the PlayStation 1. When I was playing it, but it's a pretty cool game. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'll be into that too. I'll be into that one too. I didn't know that was coming out 2021, so I'll definitely play that too.
Yep. Another game that was just kind of showcased at the Game Awards was Back 4 Blood. Anybody who's a huge fan of Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I played that already. I had a beta key.
Boy,
or alpha key.
Great. Oh yeah, you did play. How was the beta?
Oh, listen, I loved it. I have the Left 4 Deads still on Steam. I have both of them, and playing them and playing that, it's legit. I don't want to say copy and paste, but it's the same exact ideas, but it's just polished. Like you have like kind of like Perkish type of things now. You got like a little store. You can buy guns, attachments. I love it.
Sounds like they took the same formula, made it look beautiful, and then added some cool features.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I honestly, if that is the case, it may be a deterrent for me because I liked Left 4 Dead as Left 4 Dead. I didn't need like to be able to buy and customize my stuff.
Right.
I don't need a mini shop or a shop in the game at all. I just liked dropping into any mission in random play and having 5 players out there that randomly spawned in different zombies trying to rape my face. Like, that was an awesome game. Left 4 Dead was amazing. And even the single player just playing with your friends on a, split screen, that was fun.
Yeah.
And the game wasn't like it wasn't always the same. Not every playthrough was the same, because they would change the spawn locations of things. I liked that.
Sure.
Oh yeah, and chat mentioned one of the games that I forgot all about that's coming out this year, Warhammer Dark Tide. Which looks amazing. It looks amazing. So if you've ever played like Left 4 Dead, another game that was similar to it was a Warhammer Vermintide. And that was an awesome game, being able to kind of play as your classical Warhammer fantasy character and go through it. But now we're playing as, I think it's Warhammer 40K and not fantasy. And it's I think it's a bunch of guardsmen versus either Nurgle, or I don't think it's Slaanesh. I think it's Nurgle, the Plague People, or Khorne, the Berserking People. So I'm kind of really excited about that.
No, yeah, for sure. I got just 3 more games here on my list. Mass Effect Late Legendary Edition. I've actually never played any of the Mass Effect games ever, which is crazy to think about, but this will be a great.
There's only 2. There's only 2 games. Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2. Those are the only games.
That's a good one. But hopefully they polish it and make it look good and it's more playable. I just want to get back into the story because they did recently announce the new Mass Effect.
Yes.
Kind of. So it'll be, and it picks up like at the end of 3, and it's kind of going to blend with Andromeda a little bit, because I heard Andromeda was a huge mess of a game.
And Andromeda was Mass Effect, the MMO for single player players.
Oh, okay.
Go here, do this, deliver this. Okay, thank you, messenger boy. It felt like you were in Futurama and you were just, Planet Express. You were just driving around handing people things. So my one friend's biggest gripe was like, I could just play WoW if I wanted to play an MMO.
Right.
And actually have other people there.
I like how Sean just said 2 in quotes. That's great. 100% sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm eager to check it out because we talked about remaster games before in one of our previous episodes, and it's an interesting topic. Like, and I think this was a perfect time because Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 were 360 days, and they're trying to introduce this game and allow you to catch up before the new one comes out.
But then the follow-up, though, to remember, is I said you can polish a diamond and you can polish a turd. Yeah. And I'm just saying the core problem with the Mass Effect series is the writing literally took a skydive with no parachute.
Well, yeah,
it is a bloody mess.
Andromeda. I heard 3 was kind of like it was like split. Like I heard 3 was.
It started off so strong. It had such a good premise, and then the ending, they were like, throw it all to shit.
Don't spoil it for me. I need to check it out myself.
Yeah. And
I'm with an open mind, and I'll get back to you guys.
And I would more than willing be able to do a full playthrough of the Mass Effect series, whether you play the remastered or the old edition, playing through 1, 2, and 3 and rating it. And I'd honestly love feedback, what you think. But
no, yeah, for sure. And because we got to speed it up here. We've been going on a little over an hour. I'm gonna group 2 games, but then I got one more after that. Battlefield and COD. Both of them are coming out this year again for the first time in a few years. Hopefully, they're both really good. Like JD says, hopefully they're not like Cold War. But last one is Crossfire X. Crossfire, their multiplayer and stuff has always been good, but I'm more interested because I'm such a single player game. Their story mode, their campaign that they're coming out with this game, it's being created by the developers of Remedy, who just came off of one of the hottest games of the generation with Control. So it's pretty cool to check out, see what they can do with like a first-person shooter game, because all of their games before that have been that supernatural kind of game with Quantum Break, Control, Alan Wake, all of those games. But yeah, man, I'm 2021 to me looks opposite of Roger. It looks pretty fulfilled for me, and there's going to be probably a lot of random games that come out of nowhere. That I'm like, hey, game comes out next week, or hey, just different stuff like that. So I'm definitely
right
for that. But no, 2021 to me looks good. Not so much for you, Roger. JD seems like the middle.
If it just depends how the computer looks. Like Roger said, it is true. As far as computer games go, like it's just solid. Like there's so many good games. You know, there's nothing like new. But there's always that one or two games that pop up out of nowhere you might like.
Yeah. No, and it's not like I have to get a new system to play.
Call of Duty is going to take the win over Battlefield, but we'll have to wait and see. Just
put
in chat. But enough of the gaming talk.
Fanboys.
Yeah. I'm a huge fanboy. I've been a fanboy,
and I'm not going after you for it either. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a bigger following.
Yeah, for sure. But enough of the gaming talk this week. Let's move on to our non-gaming topic. Living life expecting everything to be handed to you, like success, support, anything. JD, what are your thoughts on this?
So I have conversations like this nightly, honestly. Going on social media and seeing people complain about one big pet peeve of mine that I see a lot is my boys don't support me, my friends don't support me. And it's like, okay, you want your friends to support you, but how good is your product? Why do you feel like success and support is given to you and not earned? Mm-hmm. Me as a friend, I don't have to do anything for you. I'm your friend. We're cool about, and all that's cool. But I don't have to support you. I don't owe you anything. And that's how I live my life. I don't look at some of my friends don't support me. I don't look at them any different. You're still my boy. We can still go out, have a drink. We can still game, whatever. But I understand that people have their own lives. People go about their own lives different ways. You're not worried about what I'm doing, and it's not your job to do that. At the end of the day, It's my dream. It's my dream, and it's my idea that I can make this come to fruition and come to life. So for me, I hate seeing like people asking for support, or if you don't support me, I don't support you. Me, I just support you if I like your content. I support you if I like you as a person. I support you. It's not something that is earned. I mean, it's something that is earned. It's not something that is given. So I think people need to stop with this idea that because I started up a business, I'm gonna get all the support because I deserve it. You don't deserve anything. You start from scratch like the rest of us have, and when you go about life and you go about your business, and you'll start to get it. And stop focusing on the negative and stop saying who doesn't support me, and focus on who does, because it's people who do support you. Focus on that group.
No, yeah, 100% sure about that. And it's crazy because it kind of started with the generation before us, and they started giving us the participation trophies.
Yep.
It's not even like it's like more of a metaphor now, because like we expect everything to be handed to me. And I think who I was talking to, I made a post on Facebook about not knowing the difference between debit and credit cards and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And we got to talk about like our system is not teaching us. So then like, and we're always taught to like, this is what needs to happen. Like we have a structure of how everything is. And then when you graduate and you just become an adult, you're like, what do I do now? You have no sense of direction. You're not taught anything like taxes, debit, credit cards, like how to be an adult. You're not taught to be an adult. And it's just like, and then some people are like, should that be handed to you? Like that should be something that's like handed to you, but taught, like you have to be able to put your effort into that just as much. Because now as an adult, given the fact that you weren't taught this, you have to take that step of going to learn it. Like
that's true.
You have to take that step. But no, I definitely agree. Success, man, cannot be handed out. Like if it was that easy to succeed, and
everybody be millionaires and billionaires,
would be famous. Like there wouldn't even be a word called famous. Everybody would be like, all right, yeah, that's normal. That's the normal. Like, all right, cool. I'm glad we're all making millions of dollars, and then inflation happens. Like,
well, that's why I say I think a lot of times people just think because I started something I deserved. Like because I think we all kind of been there. I've been there. Like when I first started up this gaming stuff, I'm like I'm kind of like the first person in Harrisburg to do it. I'm like, people should just support me. And I got out that mindset because I'm just realizing that nobody's going to support me, even though I've created, because the videography for me took off. So in my head, I was like, if I branch out and do gaming, I'll get support just because I'm JD. People know me. And, I'm this person in Harrisburg. And then like my ego got shot down really fast. All because I'm known, or you have friends, or you have very good colleagues or affiliates, whatever you want to call them. They're not going to support you unless you're really putting in the work. It's all about what you put in, you get out. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hard work. You got to put your head down. You got to keep going. doesn't matter who supports me or doesn't support me. I grind hard because I want to.
Right, exactly. And like going off of that too, because we can relate with giving this podcast. I'll send it to people. I post it to people. If people check me out and help me out, they do it. But I'm gonna keep doing it until like it's earned and people actually enjoy it and people want to come back to view my stuff. Like, I give it there. It's here. If you want to watch it, you enjoy it. That's great. If not, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm gonna keep doing this until it does happen because like I hate to downplay some people, but people I started with differently bailed on me. If this ends up being something big, makes money, I don't want people to come running to me like, "Hey, bro, what?" No.
Yep.
It ain't that. Like
people will always bail. That's what happens, man. People
you're still my bro, bail. Like you said. You're still my bro. I'm gonna still fuck with you. But I know what happened.
I think the biggest issue we have here is everyone is short-term returns. Nobody looks at the future. Nobody cares about what I have tomorrow. They care about what I have today.
Yep.
So I'm going to join this podcast. It should be successful right now.
Yep.
And that's not always the case. You know, you have to put in the work to get it to work out. And I do agree that a lot of our issue in America is we don't teach people what it means to be a part of society. We just teach them book learning, and we do it poorly at that. You know, nobody tells you how taxes work. You go to TurboTax and assume it works, even though TurboTax is a giant scam.
Yep.
That's just politicians are okay with that because they get paid to do it. And we don't care about teaching people to better themselves. We just say we have a level that we have to meet, and as long as we meet it, who fucking cares? So, we like even sex education in America is pretty poor at times.
Yep.
It's really fucking poor. And then parents are too ashamed to talk to their kids about where a baby comes from. Mm-hmm. Grow the fuck up, because if you're not going to teach somebody, they're going to come home pregnant in high school. I can tell you there was at least 10 people in my high school who had children before they graduated.
Yeah.
I only went to 160 people in my grade. That's one person had twins. Like, you're 16 and you have twins. Where do you go from there?
Yep.
You're 16. You know, now you've only added 10 layers of difficulty on top of becoming somewhat successful. The middle class, like the dream in America is to be able to just see the middle class America. And it's hard to get there nowadays. Yep. Like, I got lucky that I'm in middle class America. I own my own home because my wife had money. She came from money. We were able to put a down payment because she could afford it. You know, if it wasn't for my wife, I would still be living in an apartment that cost me just as much as my mortgage. You know, there is a defining line between the man putting you down and you not giving enough effort. Like, don't get me wrong.
There you go.
I could have came home every summer and winter and just worked a retail job, or, you know, but then been home with my family, got to see my friends at home. No, I put in the work every summer and winter, and I stayed at the university. I didn't come home. I didn't even have a car half the time. So I literally just sat there in the dorm room, went to work in the morning, then came home and sat in my dorm room again. I didn't go home or anything because I had to work to further my career. A lot of people, they don't put in the effort. And like, I know for one, I didn't in high school. You know, I didn't do very well. And my freshman year, I almost flunked out a bunch of my classes starting freshman year. And then at that point, I knew if I wanted to get better and go places, I need to put my nose to the grindstone. And I would ask people who I need help with. And that's the other thing. Ask for help. Yep. Don't assume somebody's going to give you a handout.
That's right.
If you want help, ask for help and really ask for it. Don't just like assume because I'm your son or I'm your daughter or, you know, I'm your friend, you got to help me. No, I will try to help you because I care about you. But it's not my job. It is your job to take care of yourself. So I think we don't nurture people correctly to make their own smart decisions because we have so many distractions in our lives, for one.
Yep.
You know, there's so many distractions.
That's an understatement.
So, you know,
right? I think that is an understatement.
And, you know, we have all these distractions, and then generations before us go, well, get your nose out of the cell phone.
Yep.
You gave us literally cocaine in our hand.
Yep.
You know, if we could huff this phone to get high, they probably would do that as well because it's just so addictive every day. You know, and now even just going on the subway, boomers are just nobody reads a newspaper anymore. Everyone's got their head in their phone. Like me, I still read actual books. You know, there's so many distractions in the world now that we inundate people from not. Everyone is a couch potato and a drone to stimulus.
And see, the thing is, you hit on that, the couch potato thing, because I kind of want to piggyback on that, not to interrupt, but that's the thing. That's why I don't mind working so hard and not getting support, because it makes it so much sweeter. Because I know 90% of America are couch potatoes. Not everybody's meant to be a business owner. Not everybody's meant to be, as successful as I think I can be. That's not what it's meant for. And those people are going to be just people. And that's okay. Not everybody's born to be like this big, successful person. That's what I want to be. That's what I feel like I'm destined to be. And that's what I grind for. So I think it's also a mindset thing. You can't go into, business or gaming or whatever you do for a living and expect things to be handed to you, because it's about what you're doing it for. I do gaming and podcasting because I love it. I love to stream. I love to game. I don't care if I get 1 viewer or 1 million. I would love 1 million. Of course I would. But I do it because I love it. If you're doing it because you want clout or you want money or you want fans, you'll never, ever be successful, because you do it because you love it. And if not, you'll be exactly what Roger said, a couch potato. You're going to be at home talking about how much you're struggling, be a shell of yourself because your business isn't, working out because you're not getting support. Stop finding excuses for why you're not successful and look at the content that you're making. Look at whatever your business is. If you're creating books, look at the books. If you're a teacher and you want to become the biggest teacher ever, look at how you're teaching. Figure out what's inside and figure out how to better yourself and put out better things. Because you're not getting support because people don't want to support you. You're not getting support because your content's just not there yet. Look at how to make yourself damn near perfect to try to get to where you got to go.
And the thing is, I hate saying cliches, but everyone says Rome's not built in a day. And the idea behind that is you can't become a world athlete in a day.
Nope.
It's exactly.
We know that. I play basketball. We know.
Yeah. So, you have to put in the work to get the rewards. And some people go, well, that guy's got a BMW. I want a BMW. Well, then you've got to think. You've got to think smart.
Go get it. Right. Go get it. That's my thing.
There are more than enough opportunities out there to better yourself, and you just have to say, I'm going to give up things I enjoy now to get enjoyment later. If you want more enjoyment, you have to be able to compromise. Right. And I think that's the biggest issue in America. People are unwilling to compromise.
There you go.
It is stimulus now is better than stimulus later, because I don't want to be unstimulated. I don't want to, it's the same thing with, drinking or things of that nature. I enjoy it now. I don't care about the long-term health sometimes. You have to think about what tomorrow holds, not what today holds. That's what investing is. And many Americans, they don't do investment. They're like, I would rather just get my money
about it either. But can they learn? It's out there. The knowledge is there. Go get it.
Right.
Yeah. Just look it up,
Right. Even I started small with that. Like, I just invested. I don't care what it is. I invested in Cash App stocks. I put a couple dollars here and there, and I'll just
$5 or $10.
I'm learning small stuff here because I don't want to go out there not knowing anything, invest thousands of dollars, and then going, "Oops, I just lost that because
I messed up."
So I'd rather lose $10, $20, and if I lose it, like, all right, now I know.
And not even that, like, not even just investing on your own, just work. Just say 401k, right, smart, non-risky investments.
Right.
People don't care. Like, some people would rather invest in buying the newest cell phone instead of, say, fixing up their porch outside. Because
you're hitting it on its head. If people aren't even willing to invest money, and money's a piece of paper, how can you invest time to kind of bring it back to what we were talking about, how everything's being handed to you? How can you invest time? Time is literally the most valuable thing on this earth. Yeah. So people are not even willing to work hard and invest time into what they love. but they want the money to come to them. And it doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to invest hours and years and days. Like, I have kids. I have a wife at home. I have 3 kids. I spend a lot of time gaming because my wife knows this is what I want to invest my time in. We came to a compromise to kind of piggyback on what you said about compromising. You have to compromise everything in life. I sacrifice some family time to make my business happen for my family. It's like a crazy circle of investing time, investing money. It's just a lot of investments. And you guys are talking about investing money, and people are scared to do that. And it's a piece of paper that you can shred up and throw it away. It's an object. And people don't even want to invest time. And that's the most valuable thing. You got to invest time.
I got a couple thoughts here to go on. I've got 2 points that y'all were just talking about that I wanted to cover on. Starting with you, Brady. You were talking about the love of doing something. And I think a great example of that is in football recently was Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck literally stopped loving the game. And he was such a good quarterback and goes, I'm going to retire. I don't want to do it because I'm not enjoying this anymore. And mind you, could he keep doing it? Could he still be playing?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He might still be competing at MVP level status and making millions of dollars. But instead he goes,
doesn't matter.
I don't play no more. I'm going to go this route. I don't know what he's doing now, but I know he's doing more family stuff. But it's crazy to think about that. Like, if the love's not there, you're not going to.
Money doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. None of that matters. Like, none of it. If you don't love what you do, it's done.
Right. Or when people actually commit suicide, honestly, like Robin Williams was a great famous person who, huge, broadly known actor, looks like he's the happiest person in the world.
Yep.
Said, I can't do this no more.
Yeah. Chat's correct too. You know, a famous quote: "If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life."
Never.
It
never feels like work.
Like right now, this podcast, we've got 4 viewers. We're very tiny, but you know, the future is always in front of us. If I enjoy coming on here and talking to you guys, and I enjoy just like listening to the chat's input, and if it becomes big, it becomes big. But I do this; it's not a job to me. But
it's something on the side.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's an investment to something that I enjoy, and if something comes out of it, awesome. Yeah. You know, I'm still bettering myself, and I'm still investing in things that make me feel good. Right. You know,
making new connections. You have different guests on here. You're meeting different people. You never know. You might have somebody on here that knows the next step. They might put you guys on to like something bigger and better. You just never know. So it's all about, that's also another thing about being successful, communicating and talking to different people, networking. People don't do that. Huge. Talk to people. You never know. You might know somebody that knows Jay-Z and just become like the next big rapper. You might know somebody that knows Ninja and he might shout you out on the stream and you can play like, it's weird how the world works. Like you never know who knows who.
Yep.
Right. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. And that's another cliche, but it's 100% true. And the other thought that I had, though, that I wanted to get on was what you said, Roger, about opportunities. You got to know when to take your opportunity if it's there. If it's there, you got to take your opportunities. And in the same breath, there's sometimes where people don't get opportunities. They live in that community, or they were born into something where they don't have opportunity. And that's where a lot of people get screwed over because they don't know what's out there. They don't know like what's
exactly.
They don't know what to even go out there to learn to teach themselves because
that's the nature versus nurture argument too. You know, people are always going to be one way. We're animals at heart, but you know, if we're nurtured correctly or given the chance, anyone can become anything.
Anything.
Just my wife isn't going to become the next astrophysicist, but she can do so much more instead. You have to find what works for you as well. Mm-hmm. Not everyone can do everything, but you can do anything you want to do. Because like, even if you're terrible at math, if you want to do it, you can still work at it and work at it and work at it. If you don't want to work at it, you can always do something else that makes you happier.
I mean, I hate math and I love business. It's weird. I hate math. I hate fractions. I hate multiplication. But somehow I love business. It's like money, and you start to add it up.
Yeah. And
sometimes you just got to deal with it, though. Like,
right.
You're not going to enjoy and like every aspect of whatever it is. If it ain't hard, you're not going to find any enjoyment because, like, there's it's equal opposites. Like if you're going to really enjoy it, there had to have been something.
Gotta love the challenge. The challenge. You gotta love that.
There's no point in winning a football game that's 0 to 70. You know,
it's not fun.
If you keep intercepting everything and just running it back and then kicking a field goal.
You know how it is when it comes to 2K when you're in the wreck and you blow a team out.
Oh man, listen, and the wreck in 2K, there it is. Listen, I've blown people out by 50. And I'm sitting there third quarter, like falling asleep, like I don't want to play this anymore. It's the challenge. It's people, like I get motivated, honestly, by looking at other people grind harder. Because I always want to outwork the worker. So for me, I pride myself on working harder than everybody else. So if I see you working hard, I'm like, oh, hell no, I got to work harder than that. Right. So I get motivated by the people around me. The challenge of like, wow, this streamer got 20 views. I'm at 10. I want to get to that. I got to be better than him. And it's not that I want to, demolish you or get rid of you, but it's just the friendly competition. And that's what drives me. I want to be a winner. I want to say I'm on top now because I grinded so hard and I challenged myself and I challenged other streamers.
Exactly.
And it's all love. It's all love. It's never hate. But I want to be better than you because you're doing these things. I'm so proud of you.
If you can do it, I can do it too.
There you go.
That's the idea. And you just have to do. You have to do something. You have to. And it all comes down to nothing is ever going to be handed to you. And even if it is handed to you, you can still piss it away.
Of course.
It's super easy to just piss it all away. But, not most people in the world aren't going to be given huge inheritances.
Not at all.
It's you've got to work towards it. I got to go do a semester abroad, and if I didn't work for it, I wouldn't have been able to go. They wouldn't have let me go. And so I gave up things I enjoyed doing to study, to have to read books that I didn't want to read.
Sometimes you do have to make sacrifices.
You have to make sacrifices for tomorrow.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And if you don't,
good luck.
You're never going to get anything.
Yeah. Side note, my phone's at 10%. I'm trying to charge it, but I have the headphones in. So I throw that out there.
No, you're good. I think we're about to move on to the closing.
Yeah, I figured that. I
think that's a great conveation. I think this topic alone could spend a whole podcast talking about.
Oh yeah, 4 or 5 hours,
easily. So I definitely want to keep this topic on the side because I would love to bring this up to other people or even bring you back on the show to dig into this a little bit more for sure. But I think we should move on to closing out this episode though. You guys have any last final thoughts before I get into closing this here?
No, okay. Yeah, pretty much good.
Ooh, it's good. We've covered what we've covered, and I wish everyone the best in 2021.
Amen.
We had a terrible year, and not all of us agreed to do the right thing, but I hope we can still come together because, especially the division in this country,
big deal.
America is one of the best countries in the world, but if we keep fighting ourselves, we're not going to be for much longer. So I hope to see a better year this year. Hopefully it'll be the beginning of something better.
To carry on with the cliches, I think a minor setback for a major comeback.
Amen. I agree.
Hopefully is what's going to happen for everybody. But we'd like to thank all of our viewers that showed up today on stream and anybody else who checks us out on YouTube. Greatly appreciate all the support and whatnot. Definitely be sure to make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We do still plan on doing an in-progress review of Watch Dogs Legion. We'll probably get into that next week, so definitely be on the lookout for that episode. We'll be going back to our normal streaming schedule at 7 p.m., so definitely check us out. But JD, what are you working on, man? Any projects you work on yourself? How do you better yourself?
To be honest, right now, man, I just been focused on positivity. You know me. I used to go on Facebook and like to troll and just have fun and talk. I've been focusing. Yeah, listen, I had some great times, and I'm a comedian, but I've been focusing on some positivity and just hanging out. As far as projects, esports stuff. Trying to find, like the next esports game other than Valorant because we're getting demolished in that. So Overwatch 2, around that. I'm just focusing on practicing. We're gonna do some tournaments this year. Some more Brawlhalla. Me and my co-owner Meech, we play Brawlhalla. We're gonna be doing a lot of that. So it's focusing on positivity and just esports and just keep on grinding and looking to network.
Shout out Meech.
Yeah, Michi boy. Shout out, man. Shout out. I love
He's
you,
one of
man.
our supporters, man. He always definitely shows some love. So that's good, man.
Yeah. It's funny. We were talking about you guys on stream. I was like, yeah, I'm going on this podcast. And he was like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Hey, man, tell him to check us out live. You know?
Yeah, I will. He's also a gamer. So, I mean, if you guys ever look for some special guests,
I'm gonna hit him up. I'm gonna get him on the list because I got like a running list right now trying to get people on here.
Oh, dope. And you know what? I'm willing to come back too, man. It was fun. I loved it. I love the conversations. You guys definitely kept it going. I appreciate it. I appreciate the welcoming environment. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Most definitely, man.
Thanks for coming.
Where can we find you at, like social media wise? What's up?
So right now on Instagram, you can find me at JD Gaming. It is JAYDEE Gaming, and there's an underscore after. Somebody else took my name. Instagram hates me. Twitter on Twitter it's JAYDEE_717. On YouTube, JD Gaming. I'm literally JD everywhere. Facebook, JD Gaming. Everything is JD Gaming pretty consistently, except for Twitter. They also Twitch? JD Gaming was no, I'm on Facebook, so I stream on Facebook. I was on Mixer, and since Mixer shut down, I went straight to Facebook. And I gotta say, shout out to Facebook Gaming. I have found the most success on there. I have legit streamed on Twitch. I've streamed on Mixer. I've streamed on Facebook. I've got paid from all three. I've had viewers on all three, and I gotta say, the best place that I have been is Facebook Gaming. I legit get the most interaction, the most engagement, the most views. And it's not even because I'm streaming on there. It's like, this is legit truth. I enjoy streaming on Facebook. They have like a lot of interface issues that they got to fix, but they're still relatively new. They've been out for like 2 years, Facebook Gaming. So I think in the next 2 or 3 years, they'll start to shoot up and start to get better with the gaming stuff. But it's an awesome place to stream if you're a streamer and you're not finding a lot of success on Twitch. Always grind out where you're at. Never switch constantly. But if you're thinking about it, Facebook Gaming is not a bad place to go.
If I'm not mistaken, Facebook Gaming, I think, bought out Mixer. I think.
Yes, they bought them out. Yes. Yeah, so that's why Mixer closed down. So I head right over there. Yeah.
But no, any other places?
No, just Facebook. I'm a pretty loyal person. I don't like streaming in different places. I like to grow my fan base somewhere. I mean, there's people who do, both. But for me, I tell myself I'm gonna give it all to one platform and try to build it up. So Facebook is it.
No, yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. What about you, Roger? You working on anything, projects, bettering yourself?
Well, I'm thinking here I'm going to try to actually get through my pile of Warhammer minis soon. That's what I'm about to try and do.
Okay.
My wife's been pestering me to try and work on them because she loves painting. But, dude, I have such a big pile, and I don't even know where to begin because, I haven't played in so long.
Grab one. All right, that's it.
Yeah, well, I have them all over the basement. I got stuff on the left, the right. I've got 4 cabinets, so I've got a problem. I've got an addiction to plastic crap.
I understand.
Well, that's okay, because I have an addiction to Funko Pops. I have like a closet and a half full of Pops. I have like legit 150 Pops. Like it's ridiculous. I need more room.
I have a decent amount.
And signatures. I have signatures everywhere.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Everybody has their niche. They enjoy collecting. There it goes again. You got to enjoy what you're doing.
Right.
Roger, where can we find you at?
Same place as we always do. Many of you might be already watching us here on Twitch, but it's twitch.tv/lunatic oblivion. Oblivion spelled with an A. And it's lunatic_oblivion. And
myself, I've just been, of course, trying to play through these single-player games and whatnot, but I definitely getting back into Magic, so I bought some more, getting back into that, so I bought some cards. So that's pretty cool. Not really a dangerous hobby. Maybe 2021 I can work on my health a little bit better. I kind of fell off with the whole pandemic. I just stopped going to the gym, stopped working out, period. Got to get into it, not really enjoying it.
But dude, I hit over 200 pounds, and I'm like, I need to fix that. Man, I'm an overweight vegetarian. I eat too much carbs.
Right, 200. That sounds great to me. I'll take that.
Let me do 200 again. I was 200 my senior year of high school.
Listen,
dude, my senior year I was 160. I was at a healthy weight. In college, I lost some weight in freshman year and gained it all the rest.
Unfortunately, my biggest weight at 267 now, so I definitely need to get it back down.
Makes sense.
Find me on Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ and also on Xbox @Never_Chillin. And then I'm going to get into streaming here eventually. Still working on the PC and whatnot. But again, we want to thank JD for joining us this week. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Back on. be on the lookout for some new content that I'm still working on. I mentioned last week, trying to put together some crossover episodes with other podcasting crews. And then I got another talk show where I'm going one-on-one with people talking about other topics that are not gaming related specifically, but I want to dive into more serious topics. Continue to like and subscribe to YouTube, share our videos as much as y'all can. We love to grow this community and connect to as many people as possible because, again, we do touch on other topics other than gaming. As you can see here, we talked about some real serious stuff about you got to work for it, man. Work hard. It cannot be handed to you. Don't expect it. But again, we're going to just go back to our normal streaming schedule, live streaming it on, like you said, Roger said, on twitch.tv, lunatic_oblivion with an A, starting at 7 p.m. on every Thursday. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But until next time, peace.
Peace, guys.
Peace.